Hello, thanks for joining us for this LibGuides training tidbit. In this session, we're going to discuss 3 different types of links you'll work with in LibGuides. The first type is hyperlinked rich text links. These links are created within a rich text editor and can be a good choice when referencing another website or resource within a body of text. For example, you might use a hyperlinked rich text link to refer to specific pages on your guide or provide quick access to a web page. However, it's best to avoid creating too many hyperlinked rich text links, and they generally aren't recommended for building lists of resources. To create hyperlinked rich text links in LibGuides, click on the Add Reorder button in the box you'd like to add your text. Then select Rich Text to open the Rich Text editor. Type in the text you'd like to appear on your guide, highlight the section of text that should be linked, and click on the Link button. A new window should appear where you can add in the URL, then click OK. You'll notice that the words you highlighted have changed color to indicate a hyperlink. Once you click Save and Close, that link will be styled according to the CSS we have in place. Keep in mind that if you're going to create hyperlinked rich text links, it's important to follow best practices. For example, avoid using generic language like click here, and instead tell the user where they're going by using descriptive link text. The next type of link we're going to talk about is a type of asset within LibGuides called a link asset. Wait a minute, what's an asset? I thought we were talking about links. Great question. Within the LibGuides system, an asset simply refers to a content item, such as links, documents, books from the catalog, databases, and more. In this video, we're talking about 2 of those asset types, link assets and database assets, and how they differ from hyperlinked rich text links. We know, it sounds a bit confusing, but once you get the hang of it, it's simpler than it sounds. Link assets are stored in our LibGuides assets library and are ideal for adding web links and creating lists. Once you create a link asset, it can be reused over and over in other guides. And, unlike hyperlinked rich text links, link assets provide statistics on the number of clicks, run through the link checker, and can be updated instantly across multiple guides. Before creating a new link asset, check to see if you've already created a similar asset. For example, if there's a specific resource you link to frequently, you can reuse that link asset instead of creating a new one each time you want to use it. Reusing link assets helps avoid unnecessary duplication of assets and keeps our asset library manageable. To create a new link asset, click on the Add Reorder button and select Link. In the Add Link window, fill out the link name and URL. You can also add a brief description if needed. Then click Save. To reuse an existing link asset, click on the Add Reorder button and select Link. From the Add Link window, click on the Reuse Existing Link tab, then search for the link you're looking for by name. Although you can reuse assets created by anyone in our LibGuide system, we recommend only reusing assets that you've created yourself. That way, if the original creator decides to change or delete the asset, your guides won't be affected. Now let's talk about database assets. A database asset pulls information directly from our A to Z database list and runs through all of the proper authentication processes so that access for users is less likely to be interrupted due to authentication issues. To add a database asset, click on the Add Reorder button and select Database. Then search for the database you want to add by name. Click on it to select it, then click Save. If you're listing a database on your guide, you should be adding it as a database asset. In other words, do not add a database as a link asset or as a hyperlinked rich text link. This will ensure that the most up-to-date database link and information is available on your guide. How can I tell what type of link has been added to my guide? Another great question. Hyperlinked rich text links will appear within a text editor box. This type of link is most often used when a link is needed within a paragraph of text and should be used sparingly. Link assets and database assets will have an Edit button next to them in edit mode, but will visually look the same otherwise. You can click on that Edit button to open the Edit window, which looks differently depending on which asset type it is. A faster way to check what asset types you have on your guide is to click on the Page Settings button, then click Content Items. Link assets will appear in a link group, database assets will appear in a database group, and hyperlinked rich text links will appear as part of the rich text box. Why does it matter how I add links or what type of link I use? Here are a few important reasons. Hyperlinked rich text links aren't caught in the link checker, so we won't know that they're broken unless someone manually checks that link, or more likely, a patron runs across it and can't access the information they're attempting to find. Link assets can be reused across guides and easily updated from one place, meaning they're less work to create in the long run and much easier to maintain. Database assets pull directly from the A to Z database list, which is updated regularly. So any updates to the description and name changes will automatically update on all guides when those changes are made. Uniform use of these link types among all LibGuides users will help libraries maintain consistency, which improves usability and overall user experience. Following proper linking guidelines improves accessibility so that all users are able to access the resources and information they need. Here's a quick way to remember when to use each link type. If you're providing a link within a body of text, like a paragraph, use a hyperlinked rich text link. If you're creating a list of multiple sources, use a link asset. If you're listing a Purdue subscription database, use a database asset. Hopefully you feel more confident in your understanding of these 3 link types after watching this video. If you don't, please reach out to Sarah or Zoe for more help, and be sure to keep an eye out for other LibGuides training tidbits on our training page. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.